My name is Brittany Cartwright, and I am the Director of Membership with the Palm Beach North Chamber of Commerce. I want to welcome you all this morning for our webinar, which is Securing New Clients in a Challenging Environment, and it is presented by Palm Beach Neighbors. In our new business environment, effective marketing is more important than ever. Whether you're running successful marketing programs for years or just getting started, this new world is making us all rethink our strategies. Today, we will look at who you should be selling to, what you should be saying, and how to package campaigns to deliver the best results. Before we get started, I'm going to address a few items. First and foremost, everyone on the Zoom call today will be muted throughout so that we can give the panelists their full time to talk. And then also, all of our questions will be addressed towards the end. Anyone that's on the Zoom today could actually submit their questions through the chat option to either myself, Brittany Cartwright, or they can send it to everyone. Anyone on Facebook Live today can comment in the comment sections, and we'll address those questions towards the end. So I wanted to briefly introduce each of our speakers today. First, we do have our moderator, Wayne Canner with Palm Beach Neighbors Media Solutions. Wayne Canner is a proven marketing executive with over 40 years of strategic business growth at General Electric and is currently the CEO of Palm Beach Neighbors Media. He is a visionary and a decisive leader experienced in building high-performance business organizations. Wayne is innovative and quality-driven professional with excellent leadership skills across multinational markets. Wayne is an ambassador and a member of the Small Business Advisory Council with the Palm Beach North Chamber of Commerce. Now on to our three panelists for today. Noel Martinez is President and CEO of the Palm Beach North Chamber of Commerce, covering a 10 municipality region. With more than 20 years of service in the public and private sectors, Noel has a strong background in leadership and management development, business development, chamber operations, and membership growth and retention. Desormier Cartwright Esquire is managing partner of Eldern Estate Planning Attorneys PA. Licensed in Florida since 1985, Ane began her practice as a real estate, landlord, tenant, and commercial and construction trial lawyer. Since 1994, her practice expanded to include guardianship, mental health, probate, and trust administration, and trust and estate planning, as well as special needs trusts, Medicaid, and veterans benefits planning. Ane is a Palm Beach North Women in Business Council member. Lisa Lickstein is owner and medical spa manager of Lickstein Plastic Surgery and Medical Spa. As co-owner and marketing director of Lickstein Plastic Surgery, Lisa's role is to promote the brand of the practice. She holds a master's in social work with a healthcare concentration from and a master's in business administration and concentration in finance, both an academic scholarship. Lisa's background in philanthropic and political fundraising gave her the experience she needed to successfully communicate their story and to help grow their business. Their partnerships with the Palm Beach North Chamber and with Palm Beach Neighbors have been a significant part of that process. Lisa is also a Palm Beach North Women in Business Council member. With that, Wayne, I'm going to turn it over to you and the floor is yours.
I can't hear.
First and foremost, thanks for the introduction, Brittany. Welcome to all our guests on the webinar. First and foremost, happy holidays to everybody, and hope you all have a great holiday season. As mentioned, our three panelists, who are all leaders in our community, will be providing creative ideas to get your message out for growth to business owners, residents in the Palm Beach County marketplace. Our panelists have been successful growing their business respectively in 2020 in the midst of the pandemic, and will share all of their thoughts for you to consider moving into 2021. Last but not least, the questions that will be addressed by our panelists in their own words are as follows. Describe the importance of securing new clients in a challenging environment. 2, how have you continued to grow in 2020 even with the pandemic impact? 3, creative marketing ideas for securing new clients. 4, building a brand in target markets during an economic growth. And 4, last but not least, examples of marketing channel options to accelerate success. Without further delay, we'd like to start with Lisa Lickstein. Then Anne Desormier, and finally Noel Martinez for our webinar program. Thank you. And Lisa, the floor is yours.
Thank you. And I apologize, but we are a medical office and there's very little non-patient facing space. So I'm in a little bit of a supply closet and I have to keep my mask on. But I hope everybody can hear me. Can everyone hear me okay? Terrific. So thank you for asking me to participate. I have an extensive business background, but the things that I felt were most important relevant to getting new patients and branding our practice were really my background in fundraising and in philanthropy, because in those situations you have to tell your story. I ran assisted living properties for a long time. Those patients come to you if you do a good job. It's a different marketplace. When my husband was in practice in 2002 till 2016, he decided he wanted to leave that practice and start his own. And we've been together since Tufts, and I know that Wayne went to Tufts as well, but we've been together for 30 years, and I knew I could tell his story well. And we opened, we were very busy and successful, but then we went to bring on a new associate. And we went to bring on a new associate. We committed to hiring him right before COVID. We also had been busy enough that we were thinking about expanding to a new location and splitting off our spa services to a dedicated separate location, also right before COVID happened. So here we committed to bringing on a young plastic surgeon and to potentially having a second location. And we had to really think long and hard about our commitment to our 25 employees and to all of our patients, and whether during this expansion during COVID was really such a good idea. And we decided to go ahead with that. And to go ahead with that, we have, throughout the point in time when we opened, we tried a lot of different branding venues. When we moved from our other practice to opening our own, we used digital fencing. We continued with sort of the larger magazines in the area for print. We used the Post. We had a variety of different ways, all of which were helpful as we're just having a very premier location. But when it came time to expanding during COVID, we really fell back on telling our story being the most important thing. And that's when I reached out to Wayne, because in the past we've discussed about whether that was the right fit for our business. And I knew at the point where I was bringing on an associate that the ability to get into a community when everyone is home, the ability to have something that people would want to flip through and really absorb versus just, sitting out there or being stuffed in the mail. All of those things are very critical. And so I just want to take a minute and show 3 things that we've done with Wayne's family Best Version Media. And so, for instance, they have a cover story that reaches, we have 3 different publications, and they reach different areas, different communities, all of which are our target communities. They're all the different country clubs and higher end neighborhoods in the area. And we were able to have our young surgeon, our young associate surgeon, and his family profile so that people could get to know him. David and I have lived in this community since 2002. We've been very actively involved. We've served on lots of boards. Our kids have gone to lots of schools. We've 3 children. They're 9 years apart. They go to a lot of things. People know us. We needed people to get to know Craig, and this was a great way to get to know Craig. We've gotten tremendous feedback from this, and the fact that it both went to in print into these neighborhoods, but then digitally could go all over, and we could share it, and Craig could share it, and his our synagogue could share it, that these were great ways for people to learn about them as people. Because when you pick, my husband's Harvard trained, Craig's very well trained, you can do great results. There are a lot of people in the community that are well trained and have good results. So then what are you picking your surgeon from? You're picking from a connection, and telling your story helps you make that connection. The other thing that was really great is that we took advantage of being able to be expert contributors, both my husband and our clinical director at our spa. My husband's the medical director, but Christina was able to talk about really empowering patients to get natural results, which is a differentiator in our medical spa. Some places people really want to look very done, and we have sort of the opposite of that. We want you to look very naturally beautiful, comfortable with what you want, but we don't overdo here. And then my husband really is, his area of expertise is in revision surgery. A lot of people here have already had, they've already had a facelift, or they've already had breast implants, and they're ready for a second one. And to be able to explain to a general audience why you want to look for something different, it's a different skill set when you're getting a second operation, that was really important. And it was great to be for him to be able to tell that. And it's a different kind of credentialing. So when Brittany asked me for my bio, I said, my bio doesn't matter. I try to never talk about me. No one cares about the marketing director. I'm here to promote my brand. So in promoting the brand, David's just was elected chief of surgery at Jupiter Medical Center. He's Harvard trained, he's board certified, he's chief of plastics at Good Sam. He's seen a ton of very happy patients. All of that is great credentialing. But again, you need to find what connects someone, and particularly in COVID, where you can't leave your house necessarily to go. Not everybody wants to do a virtual consult. Having the opportunity to just have, it's like having a quiet conversation. It's a different feel. We also maintain our other avenues of advertising because they have different purposes. So they will say, like, well, why do you do one versus, if you're doing this, why do you do other things? It's different to have a full page ad in Palm Beach Illustrated than it is to have an article that someone's going to read in your house, and both of those serve different needs. But we have seen good feedback. Our patients come and tell us that they've read this, that they heard it, that they learned something new. And so we know that those are read, and that's an important channel. And particularly in COVID, I think it's a great way to reach new patients. So I thank Wayne for that. I think that was a very, very worthwhile investment. The Chamber has been a phenomenal partner. We lucked out. I went to the American Spa Association conference in January, and that was the first time I had heard about virtual events. And I came back and I scheduled a virtual event for new moms. And we put our ads in Jupiter Magazine and Palm Beach Illustrated, advertising our virtual event for new moms. And we had prizes and we had all sorts of great things. And we put that in February. Right, the beginning of February. And that ad came out in April, and we had our first virtual event, was already ready to go, rolled out, pre-planned and advertised when COVID hit, so that in May we had a very successful virtual event. And what we did ahead of that was put all of our product sales on a virtual online store. So that was really important. I will share, just because we learn as we go, and a thing for all the businesses out there, in moving all our products to the online store, we have a retail license, but you need an e-commerce, and you need to also make sure you have a CAPTCHA, that it's secure, that you can't just put your store up there. We had some credit card crushing issues at the beginning. So, got to make sure that all of those things, in your website provider might not be so familiar with the retail aspect of that. So you want to make sure that you also have a consultant who does those things. But it's been a true blessing that we've grown. This year has been our highest revenue and patient since we opened. We are double in revenue this year than we were when the day we opened 4 years ago. Our second site is full. Our main office is full. And we're very, very blessed. We're very grateful that people continue to follow. And I think that the Chamber is just a phenomenal partner. We were able to do a nice partnership with Hamilton Jewelry as a result of a Chamber event. We know that the Women in Business Council and the Young Professionals Division have been great for our younger employees. And we were very grateful to be able to be involved in the mentorship boot camp. and provide some of the young people that have come to us with an avenue to increase their own businesses. You know, all of us who have good businesses have that responsibility to reach behind us and help other people along, because our community is only as strong as our small businesses. So that's it for me. But Wayne, thank you. We found great value in what you do.
Lisa, thank you for your words. Ane?
Thank you. I'm Desormier Cartwright, and I did a bunch of social media kind of presentations, but I started off with publishing on my website videos about my story and why I am an elder and estate planning attorney. And I did that because I knew people were going to be researching on the internet since they couldn't go out and about. I also started presenting as a speaker to every association, including the chamber that I was a part of, and started saying, what is it that you need from me? And offering to be not just a host as a speaker, but also serve as a speaker and invite people in to present with me, asking questions. I did that with people getting hurt in a car accident, even though the car accidents weren't happening as often as they were, simply because people were not on the road. But I tried to approach my presentations from the practical aspect of what would I, as a consumer, want to hear from an attorney or a presenter or a mental health counselor about. And I called every single one of my clients and asked how they were doing on the phone for about 15 minutes, saying, hey, what's happening? How's it going? How's your family? Where's your family? How are you doing in general throughout this issue that we're all dealing with as community members? And then I talked to them about, okay, so let's talk about, these are the agents that you have under your documents. Are they still able to serve? Are you having any issues with having them serve? So we could address things. And then when I did my signings for my estate planning documents, I adopted a signing outside in the parking lot until it was too hot. And then I had lots of plexiglass, lots of gloves. I already had gloves, lots of masks, lots of spray. And I also looked into online remote notarization, as well as using mobile notaries if we couldn't go to the facility, or I'm sorry, if they couldn't go to us. And that's how I arranged a lot of signings. When the local shops and restaurants reopened, I made it a point to go to those restaurants and shops and support them and tell them, I'm Desormier Cartwright. The reason why I'm here is you're part of my community and I need you. I need you as the restaurant. I need you as the local shop owner. And we're not talking about the big chains. We're talking about those individual shops that need us to help in every way, shape, and form to make sure they're still in the community, 2 months, 6 months, 9 months from now. And it's my way of giving back to the community and my way of branding me, saying I am a support for the community. As far as potential new clients that came in the door, I set up payment plans for those that could not afford to have my services immediately, pay for it all at once, but I got their documents done. And I made sure that their documents were done first, and then we would receive the payments on a regular basis. Most importantly, I increased my presence in the Palm Beach North Chamber. I joined and sponsored Tech Talks, which I found so much information on that and learned so much about leadership and management of employees that it's beyond belief what I learned from there. I joined the Women in Business Council and sponsored and became a part of their first mentor boot camp. I sponsored a mentee that I thought was a good way of giving back again to the community for someone that had lost her job. And I thought, wow, what a great way to say to that person, look, you want some help with changing your career? This is a great program. I'm there to support you. I placed an ad with the chamber for free healthcare surrogate designation documents and living documents for healthcare workers. I reached out to other chamber members to connect with them to see what we could do to work together. And I thank Brittany for introducing to me to a lot of them that we had a great connection for. I joined the Healthcare and Life Sciences Committee and attended the presentations, and wow, what fabulous educational material I received. The most recent one talking about the vaccine and the like and what its effect will be. I reached out to my homebound clients, those that I knew couldn't get out, that might have had care services in place. And I asked them if their care services were still coming. And if not, what could I do as their attorney to provide resources to them, either get their resources or having things delivered to them, or having them contact those resources to have things delivered to them, since they were probably more afraid to go out and go to Publix or have things be in public. I also reached out to the clients that I have in the assisted living facilities and the nursing homes, more likely the assisted living facilities, and said to them, hey, I'm just saying hello. How are you? How are you dealing with this? Are you getting enough support from the community that you're in? Is there something that I can do to talk to the client coordinator at your facility to make sure you're getting all the services that you need? I updated my website and hired a marketing company to increase my social media presence and address SEO. And I did that with a long time elder law attorney that knew how to go about doing that. And I found that it took a couple months to do that, but I found the increase in my exposure on the internet was fabulous. And most important to this presentation today is in the articles that I write for the Palm Beach neighbors, I talked about practical aspects of life today. I talked about what estate planning documents you need in an emergency and how those documents work, like the durable power of attorney and the living will and the healthcare surrogate designation, because those documents are needed in times of crisis. And if you can't make decisions for yourself, you need to appoint somebody else that you know, like, and trust. And finally, I increased my sponsorship, the dollars that were going to local charities like Center for Family Services and Wounded Veterans Relief Fund, which services our local community with with wounded military coming home. And then I also increased my sponsorship to the Forgotten Soldiers Outreach that packs up the boxes to go to the forgotten soldiers, and making sure that those community type agencies were still able to service what they've always provided services to, because the amount I can provide to them, although it's not their annual budget, it just says to me that I can at least give. My law firm is still open. I'm still functioning. I am still able to earn money. There are many people in our community that couldn't. So I made sure that those programs were still receiving my money and my support. I also reached out to Legal Aid Society and increased by like 5 times the amount of money I give to them, because they're going to need that. Their typical way of raising funds were totally shut down this year. So I made sure I did that. And then recently, just today, as a matter of fact, I changed my ad for the guide that's published for the North Palm Beach Chamber. And I went to a full page, because I think the kinds of services that I provide, people need to know about. And since I'm in the community all the time, I want to make sure that my exposure through the chamber was in fact larger than it was in the past. And the thing that I focused on all the time when I was increasing my marketing, I looked at my budget and said, I need to change the way I market and brand myself. So that's the first thing that I did. I listened to the experts. I attended a ton of webinars put on by bar associations and coaching programs that I'm a member of. And I listened to those experts on what they were doing. And I can tell you, I will survive this pandemic. And I'm praying everybody else in our community does the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Ane. Great message. Noel?
All right, well, good morning. It's still good morning. So good morning, everyone. And thank you so much to Wayne, Ane, and Lisa for your support of the chamber. As everyone on this call knows, all three of them are chamber members and very, very active. And that is what the chamber is all about, is about relationships. And speaking about relationships, I know we're here to talk a little bit about why it's so important to securing new clients in challenging times, but I want to flip that a little bit. And I want to talk about, now, it's absolutely important, right, to acquire new clients and customers or members, in our case, members, but retaining them is how you really survive a challenging environment. Growth without retention really isn't. And, in preparing for this, I came across a verse that says, and I want to read it because I want to make sure I say it right. It's make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver, the other is gold. And to me, that means that long-term customers or members, in our case, is way more valuable than a one-time deal customer, right? I'm not saying that new customers are not important. Don't get me wrong. Brittany will tell you, I'm constantly asking her who's coming on or who's the new member that we have. But if you retain those members or clients for a longer period of time, you build on this this revenue foundation that is more profitable and it's more predictable. And we all know that those are two factors that are needed to grow. Let me touch a little bit on how we've grown in 2020, even with the pandemic. And really the secret sauce here is keeping our members engaged, or in your case, customers, members, however you want to look at it, right? Immediately, and when I say immediately, within a week of everything going haywire back in March, we switched to hosting everything virtually. I'm so proud of our team because we became that resource for our members or customers, however you want to call it, right? We were having these social media seminars on updates on restrictions that the businesses were facing, what you can or cannot do. We had seminars on all kinds of issues that our members were up against, seminars on the PPP applications and how to do that, how to market your business during these tough times. And at the same time, we used our members to do those seminars. So we were using our clients. So we were helping our members get out there. And at the same time, the chamber was out there getting all these people together. Something else that we did, and that really helped us become like the expert or that resource, is in that we brought in local, regional, state, and national leaders to give us updates on what was going on, and to give our membership really opportunities to ask questions. So I think that has really, really worked out for us. One good thing that we did was we really figured out how to monetize these events. So we went from relevance. We went from events that had 100 to 200 people in attendance to events that were being viewed online by thousands of viewers. And the more relevant those events became, the more people were watching them online. And the more people that were watching them online, the more valuable that became to our sponsorships and our customers. So that really helped. That really has helped us. We've become extremely strategic in our marketing efforts, right? Every dollar counts right now. We're all in the same boat. We're just like a small business as well. And, we track our leads, where they come from. We track everything that's coming in the door. And so to really make sure that the money that we're spending is really worth our while. The most important thing that we've done in the past year that has really helped us continue to grow was tell our story, right? The chamber has always struggled with telling our story. And in the past year, we have just really focused on it and have done an amazing job. We brought in a new marketing director, Marley Brannick, who is on the call, and she really understands how to tell our story through social media, right? We've partnered with Palm Beach Neighbors, where we have a monthly article about all the different things that we're doing. We're featuring our different committees and councils and what they have going on. We do so many things out in the community that people don't know about, that that we had to. It was just a matter of time before we started telling our story, and that has really helped us grow through this craziness. Let's talk a little bit about some marketing ideas that we've seen that has helped us secure new clients. I don't know how creative this is or not, but when was the last time you went and updated your Google listing? First thing people are going to right now is going to Google, right? when was the last time you verified your hours, right? We're all working different hours. When someone is looking for a plumber, an electrician, the first thing they go to is Google, and they're going to look at this, or a restaurant. Have you modified your description? Talk a little bit more about, your COVID-19 offerings. Are you delivering now? Are you doing curbside pickup and so forth? Google's a great opportunity to put that information out there. And guess what, guys? It is free. It doesn't cost you anything to do. Social media, something that we have really taken advantage of is how social media savvy we are as a team here at the Chamber. Facebook Live is just such a great, like we're doing right now. We're on Facebook Live right now. And not only are the people that are currently watching this now, you're going to have a ton of viewers doing that. We've got people on the Zoom call as well, but you could save that video and do whatever you want with it. And people are going to watch, and that video doesn't go away. It stays here and people can see it at any time. There's studies that show that Facebook Live videos people are watching videos 50% more since COVID-19. That is just cool. And you could do all kinds of really cool, fun stuff, right? You could do, show what you're doing at your business to keep your customers and employees safe. You could do a how-to or a DIY, or if you're a gym, you could do a live workout and show them how to do a burpee or something fun or something crazy like that. There's so many different things that you could do. Other things on social media, and I know people take this for granted, but you could do giveaways, right? For us, the Chamber runs the Mardi Gras Fine Arts Festival. Maybe we do, we're trying to do a little campaign to get some more follows, and maybe we do some sort of new follower giveaway that wins an Mardi Gras signed poster or something like that. So there's so many different things that you could do on social media, and that has really, really worked with us. Am I doing good on time? Give me a thumbs up. I don't want to go.
Oh, you're doing great. Keep going.
And then, we were also asked to talk about some examples of marketing channels to really accelerate your success. Again, going back to social media, it's very affordable, has a huge reach. You could get it out very, very quickly. And then something that Annie and Lisa both talked about, and something Wayne is an expert at is pushing content, right? Not only through social media, but through everywhere, right? But let's start with social media, blogs, any kind of, let me see, you could do blogs, you could do seminars, videos, pictures, anything that you could throw out there. The more content you push out there, you become the expert in your field, and people are going to come to you. When you create those good blogs and those good videos, I believe it's called inbound marketing, right? I'm not the marketing expert. It's called inbound marketing. They start coming to you, right? Shoppers come to you, and you don't need to invest money to go get them. And then again, you become the expert. And the last thing that I want to talk about is marketing and cutting back on marketing. It's crazy when times get tough and things start to get a little tough with cash flow. The first thing that people do is cut back on their marketing budget. And that is really the last thing you want to do. By cutting your marketing budget, that means you're cutting off valuable connections with every audience that might otherwise help you during an economic downturn, right? Brands without a marketplace presence are those left most exposed through a recession. So think about next time you're thinking about cutting back on your marketing budget, because you need to do everything you need to do to get out there. And I know Annie touched on that. I know Annie just made a comment. She talked about how she stepped up her sponsorship efforts. You've got to do something to get out there in front of your potential clients. So that's all I got, Wayne, unless you have some questions for me. And I meant NA, excuse me. Thank you.
No, that was great. Lisa, Ane, and Noel. We're going to open it up to some questions, but I want to thank the panel, but I also want to kind of tie this together in that, we all had to shift during the pandemic, and there are different ways to market yourself in a ever-changing world, which is what this is about, whether it's new clients or retention. But I have to tell you that, Noel, the Chamber, I look at it as a fishing analogy, right? You've got a big net in the Chamber, and it's a great way to support your business. But enough of that. Questions from the participants?
So we actually have a few questions, and while we wait for some more to come in, Bianca or Marley, if you could actually put up some of the polls so that our Zoom participants could participate in that. First question, what would be the advice for a new or startup business that would like to get some traction when nobody knows who you are just yet? And that question can be for anyone who feels like they have the answer.
I think, Brittany, can I?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Go ahead.
thanks. So for us, one of the really great things about the chamber and being in the same plaza as the chamber, I will say that, is that there's a lot of locally owned businesses in our city. And going out and purposely introducing yourself to the owners of other locally owned businesses and figuring out how you can do events together. We've done a lot of events together, both virtual and in person. I'm going to give an example. Last year, before COVID, we did an in-person event at Hammerenstein, which is in Jupiter, which we made that event free for our breast cancer survivors and then asked people to donate to Komen, as we've always been a Komen sponsor. And then this year we couldn't have our, immunocompromised breast cancer patients come and pack an indoor small space for hours. It's not great medical advice. So we did a virtual event with them, and we promoted that they could do take-home kits. And we've partnered with restaurants. We've partnered with salons. We've partnered with baby play groups and with mommy yoga groups and all sorts of different things where we give gift bags or trade social media or invite them on our socials. We were invited by a local realtor to participate on a social hour program of theirs. Really want to try to promote each other. There's an awful lot of connections. And when you talk to your new clients and you really find out about them, and the avenues in which to partner will become obvious, because you'll hear the same people in the same areas of the community, and you'll know where the overlap is in your customer base.
I'm just going to add something very quickly. That was awesome, Lisa. So when I started looking at who I should reach out to, the chamber was a natural avenue to reach out to because we had a connection already. We had that in common. So, and then the same thing with Palm Beach neighbors. I have that in common. And so I would say to them, look, we have at least the same interest in reaching out to the community. And word of mouth marketing is not dead. When you provide a great service to somebody or you make that connection, they're going to talk about you because they're going to remember you. And that's a lesson I learned from my father, who was in a roofing business for over 40 years, that when you make that connection, an ad in a newspaper doesn't always get the same effect that word of mouth does. But when you place that ad and make that connection with the customer, you are going to have a better result, because they're going to say, oh yeah, so-and-so did my estate plan, or so-and-so, helped me with this. You should talk to them.
Great point.
Fabulous. Okay, great. We'll move on to the next question. Thank you very much. How often do you think of your marketing strategy? Is it a daily occurrence? Is it a weekly check-in? Is it a monthly meeting?
Every day.
Agree.
Yes. You may revise it, like weekly or monthly or quarterly, but you are thinking about it every day, especially when you get a potential client that calls or customer that calls. You're going, where did I get this person from? So you track that ROI to know what's working for you, and you adjust if it's not.
I want to add on to that in terms of connecting the chamber again as well, is that at the beginning of the pandemic, everybody was freaked out in April and May saying, I don't even know where I'm going to get my next client from or retain the existing ones. And so just the touch point through the chamber and through some other clients or whatnot is important, because you're always thinking about What are they telling you? What's the feedback they're giving you? Where's the market going? And you have to shift.
You know, if I could add to that too, I think the most important thing about a marketing plan is to actually have a marketing plan, right? I think that is extremely important. And so I know a lot of small business owners, when you talk to them about their marketing plan, they're like, oh yeah, I do some stuff on social media. I send out my constant contact email. Well, you know, at the chamber, we have a communication plan, right? Marley has a plan in place on how often and when she sends out communication to our membership. You know, she's got an idea of how many times a week or day she's going to post something on social, on Facebook or on Twitter and so forth. What she posts on, because she posts different things on each social media channel, uses different pictures. You know, so I think if there's anything that you could take out of this, it's very, very important to actually have a plan in place. We talked about the budget, right? You've got to have a marketing budget in order for, you've got to create leads some way, right? And without a plan, you can't accomplish that.
No, I just want to piggyback on that. So like we actually have like a written monthly marketing plan, but we go over that every year, revise. You have to put your events on there, and it's internal and external marketing. So when Anya said it was about how she called all her customers, you have to do your internal marketing as well as your external marketing. The cost of acquiring a customer is your greatest cost. It is much less expensive to keep that customer and keep them coming back and have them bring in their friends and increase what you sell to them than to go out and get a new one. So it's important to look at that every day.
Great, thank you. Next question, excuse me, how do you seek constructive feedback from clients?
Reviews, we get reviews all the time, good and bad, more good, thankfully.
So one of the things I started doing, because I had the time to implement this plan, is, and I had hired a young intern. He's going to go to law school, hopefully in 2021. I started having him follow up when we were done with the estate plan and they were not retaining us for future services, because I do have a client annual care plan that I had put together years ago. I started having him reach out to say, hi, would you write a review for us? What'd you think of our services? Just very brief questions, and provided them the link to do that, because I don't have the time to do that. But this young man who's going to go to law school and learn about what it's like to own a law firm, hopefully someday, I trained him to do it. So it's reaching out and asking them for those reviews, just like Lisa said.
You know, Brittany and team and participants, we are running up against the 12:15 hour, but I want to connect some other dots that just came up, and that is every business, large and small, has to have some sort of plan. And even if it's the back of a napkin, even if it's a, you know, and this is the time of year where it's fun, because I go out and meet with a lot of clients and say, what's your marketing plan? And they say, well, I haven't thought about it, but it's only December 14th. I got another 15 days in the month to do it. But it is important. We're having fun with this. Obviously, I can't thank the three panelists enough to, you know, all you're doing in the chamber and the community and with Palm Beach neighbors. But Brittany, would you like to kind of wrap this discussion up?
Absolutely. Yes, to reiterate what Wayne said, thank you so much to Anne, to Lisa, to Noel, and also Wayne, thank you as well for putting this webinar together. It's very critical for businesses anywhere in the United States and in the world in today's society. So with that, we do have some upcoming events, but I will direct you to our website, which is pbnchamber.com. Our final event of 2020, we're going out with a bang, is tomorrow evening or tomorrow afternoon from 4 to 5 p.m., which is our Tech Toast event, which is also sponsored by Palm Beach Neighbors. So we thank you, Wayne, for your support of the chamber and always wanting to spread the message about the chamber and small businesses within Palm Beach North. With that, I'll tell you all happy holidays. Thank you all again, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Take care.
Thank you for having us.
Happy holidays.
Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Happy holidays.
Happy
Bye,
holidays.
See you
everyone.
soon.